okay, is called exodendritic. What component of the pre? Axon, contact what? Post, dendrite. Exosomatic, those are the most common type. The other, they are not as common. Exoaxonic, dendrodendritic, dendrosomatic, they are not common. Now let's go back. What about the one we talk about? Body to the body, somatic. So far we haven't seen anything like that yet. However, it's just romantic to talk about that. Right? Yes? That's why you can say that. Let's get the date and worry about from the somatic synapses later. I should be a counselor or something. Dating service or something. Okay. You don't have to reject that obvious. Just say that. Never mind. What about support me, you guys? Okay. Are you clear on this? Right? Because on the test, I can give you guys a real paragraph. The axon of neuron A contact the dendrite neuron B, and then the dendrite neuron B contact the cell body of neuron C, blah, 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 right? And I call you, what is the name of the synapse between C and D, or B and C? Can you do that? Just listen to them and say, what part contact, what part is C, and you got it. Are you with me so far? Okay? And by the way, this is fun right here, but remember one thing. Learning. We learn that why do we keep, most of the time when you remember something, we keep repeating them, right? It turned out that when you are learning and you try to memorize them, you try to form the new synapses. And the data showed already. This neuron right there usually don't receive the synapse from that neuron. But you repeat one thing again, like at Hamel term, you do over and over and over again. That synapse keep grow. Now it may contact that neuron. And that's why you have to revisit that again to keep that synapse function. Otherwise, you don't do it, you lose that. That's why you may lose that memory. Yes, sir?
Yeah. Which one say is most common? Is the actual depression or actual...
The same. The same, you mean the two, yeah, the phrase is common. Yes. Actually, I take it back. The other most common one is exosomatic. Much more common than the exodendritic. But the percentage is not that big different. There we go. So they were really common. All right. So far, based on the structure that from that synapses we just learned, it turned out that based on the function, the synapse is also different. The synapse based on the function, we classify them into two types. Electrical, I did not know that we have minor right here, so remind me to say something that's politically correct. We don't have to hear that, right? You started it. Okay. Yes, okay. You listen, this is what we're talking about. That's good. Where were we? Electrical and chemical, based on the function. What do you call a synapse, electrical or chemical? Very simple. As a chemical synapse, how does the pre-synaptic neuron able to communicate with the postsynaptic neuron? The answer is, we have seen that before. By chemical. Remember that the mononeuron axon terminal release acetylcholine. The acetylcholine diffuse across and open the channel on the muscle. The muscle now generates its own action potential. Remember that? Okay? So if the neuron uses a chemical to communicate with the other neuron, and that chemical are called neurotransmitter. That synapse is called a chemical synapse. Is that simple? However, electrical is a bit different. Look at this and wait, I thought they both electrical. That's what action potential about, isn't it? Well, let me draw the picture of the typical chemical synapse, where you have the axon of the pre contact the cell body of the post right here, and between them you have synaptic cleft. Okay? So in order for the pre-contact or activate the post, they have to release a chemical. The common one is acetylcholine. Are you with me? Well, here is a synapse that we call electrical synapse. Okay, the first thing you see different is this. They are not separated by a synaptic cleft. Can you see that? They are physically connected together. Which means that when the action potential arrives at electrical synapses, they don't need the chemical. They go right across and activate the postsynaptic. Where in the chemical synaptic, they have to use a chemical to communicate. Which one do you think faster? Electrical. Right? We know that. Which one do you think we have more? And you say, oh, it depends how fast I think. What do you think? Between chemical synapses, which one do we have more?
Chemical.
The slower one, Harry? So you choose the slow one. We have more than one slow. Is that your excuse for taking the test? I'm sorry, most of my brain cell has chemical synapses, that's why I take all the time. I will miss you. I will see you in MP2. Yes, I had it.
We have more chemical than electrical. So we don't get electrocuted easily.
I don't know, I just learned, I thought they faster. I want to think fast, I want to react fast. And you tell me that chemical have more. Actually, Harry's correct, we have more chemical. But before we answer that question, think about this. Why on earth we have the one that's slow right there? Think about this. One thing is, in the chemical synapse, the signal only go in one direction. They always go from pre to post. There's no other way. Are you all with me? Right? You see, because this one receives action potential, they release the chemical now activate the postsynaptic, and then postsynaptic can jump action potential. They go that way. But with the electrical, it can go either way. That's confusing. You see that? Because in action potential right here, it can go back that way, this way, it doesn't matter. The signal can go either way. And that's why, by just logic thinking, you see, it could not be because up here, these are the area of the brain that we know may involve electrical synapses. As a matter of fact, Harry, long time ago, when we don't know what kind of synapse we have, when we think about there's an electrical and there's a chemical, okay, some scientists even debunk, they say that, no way, we cannot have chemical synapses because we are not that slow. It takes a little while to convince people that there are such a thing we call the chemical synapse. Not only that, we have much more than electrical. And this guy made a very, very simple experiment. And the other guy said, oh, there must be a synapse. And here's the example of that synapse. He's really simple. He removed the heart from a frog, and that heart still beating. Okay? So we anesthetize the scientists back then anesthetize the frog, and then remove the frog heart is still beating. And he said, huh? Learn it later in MP2. And he put that heart into a beaker with a solution to keep that alive. Okay? And this neuroscientist cleverly removed the frog heart with a nerve still attached, and that nerve is called the vagus nerve. He still out like this. Okay? And then he stimulates that vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is what cranial nerve? What number? Number 10. Okay, you learn later. The cranial nerve, 10 or vagus nerve, mediate the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you activate that nerve, it slows down the heart. They observed that before. They know that, right? So when this guy stimulates the nerve, this heart slows down. The rate slows down. Say, duh, we know that. Vagus nerve do that, right? Because they send the signal down. This guy said, yeah, but is that signal chemical synapse or electrical synapse? And what he did next is just simple or so clever. He had a second heart right here, okay, a second full heart in this beaker that have a normal heart rate, just like this heart before they been stimulated by the vagus nerve. So after this guy stimulated the nerve of this heart slowed down, he scooped the juice from this, and he put that juice into this heart slowed down. You see how clever it is? So this guy said, I don't care what that is. When I stimulate this guy, some chemical release, and that chemical in the juice, therefore I put that juice over here. That chemical caused this heart to slow down. So therefore, it had to be chemical synapses. You can do it at home. Seriously. With supervision, of course. Is that cute? And that's where the whole thing blossoms out and say, wait a minute, is that the case? Do we have it in your brain? And that's what we find out. There are so many chemical synapses in your brain. And that's why at the end of the next chapter, I believe, we talk about neurotransmitter. There are so many neurotransmitters because there are so many chemical synapses. So do you guys know the difference between two? Good. And this talks about something you already know. Why the chemical synapses are different. Can you tell me the component of the chemical synapses? Really easy. Presynaptic, postsynaptic, and the gap between them we call the synaptic cleft. Right? All this part right here mentioned about that. And that's why the signal travels slower than the electrical.